Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive doubleheader basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island women will open up the action here at approximately 5:30 as they will take on York College, followed approximately a half hour later as the men will face York College in the second game of this doubleheader. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski alongside my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, as we get ready for doubleheader basketball here this afternoon. And Dave, for the CSI women, they're coming into today's game red hot, having won 7 in a row, 10 out of their last 11, and 12 out of their last 14 games.
Yeah, Mike, they're the hottest team at CSI right now. After an 0-6 start, they've completely turned it around, and they've really been taking care of business in the CUNY Athletic Conference. They've only dropped one game against a CUNY Conference opponent, and that was on the road against Hunter, a game, Mike, that by all accounts they probably could have won and maybe even should have won. They were winning them a long length of time, and tonight they face a team in York that they defeated earlier this season by 15 on the road, and they're coming in strong. York is coming off of a loss, and the Dolphins, like you mentioned, coming in 7 straight wins on absolute fire and looking to stay strong.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, you look at this team and you're seeing a lot of good play from the older players in Megan McCune. You have your sophomore players like Kayla Schmidt playing very well. And then most importantly, or as important, a lot of good production from those young freshman players, Jada Rogers, Deidre Foster, and Christina Arvello, although Christina not available to play tonight.
Yeah, Christina's nursing some injuries. She's day-to-day. She will not be, in uniform today. She's in street clothes. But, you're right, Mike. The Dolphins are getting production where they need it from their veterans, and their veterans are giving their young players an opportunity to step onto the court and make some waves. They haven't been called on, to come in 15, 20-minute stretches. They come in, 5-7 minutes at a time. They've been put in good positions, and you really got to hand it to the CSI coaching staff doing a great job of integrating their youth into an otherwise veteran roster. And right now, all cylinders are firing, and the Dolphins are looking good.
Yeah, and Dave, the Dolphins started off slow. You mentioned that 0-6 start, but one of the things that happened during their turnaround was the vastly improved play of Diana Tadero. And, Dave, once you found a way to stay out of foul trouble, her productivity has really skyrocketed.
Yeah, for sure. And she missed a couple of games due to injury as well. And ever since she's come back, she kind of, it took a little time for her to really get herself going. But she's been dominant. She's been dominant on the inside. She makes things happen in the backcourt at times. And, really her presence, especially on the glass this season, has really steadied. And when you add in the fact, Mike, that Deidre Foster has been able to come in and spell her for a few minutes at a time, it's really, the Dolphins really haven't lost much when Diana comes out of the game as well. But she's a senior. She recognizes, the position she has on this team, the influence that she has, and she's really playing. Her scoring numbers, Mike, have actually gone down, but it's not for lack of, what it is she's being less selfish with the ball. She's opening up opportunities for other players to play in the game, and certainly her teammates would love her to shoot more. She has a great percentage from the floor, but it's that play of integrating the others that has really shown in Diana the most, and it's it's a testament to her personality and how she wants to integrate everybody into the game.
Yeah, and Dave, you look throughout this winning streak for the Dolphins, they've really started to play much better defense. Their points allowed have gone way down. And you look at this winning streak, Dave, only one of the games decided less than 10 points, and that was that non-conference game against Cabrini back on January 17th. Other than that, the Dolphins are winning all of these games by double-digit plus points.
Yeah, and something that you've kind of come to expect from the CSI Dolphins over the years, Mike, but you figure this year, with the jump to Division II, the slow start that they got, I'm sure a lot of other CUNY teams were looking at the Dolphins and say, hey, you know what, this team could be had. They're down. They got a lot of young players in the lineup, and that's not the case. So the CUNY has kind of, run into a buzzsaw with the Dolphins of late. Dolphins are going to have some big games coming up. Brooklyn College is on the register still. A rematch with Hunter here at home, one of their final home games of the season. So Dolphins will be tested, but this is a York College team that enters the tank, Mike, much improved from years prior. They were a tough out earlier in the season in Queens. So this is step one of the Dolphins finishing strong in 2020.
Yeah, you're right, Dave. This is really a vastly improved York College team coming in with a record of 7-12 overall and 4-6 in the conference. And, we remember back, Dave, a good 8-10 years when York was really the dominant team in the conference, along with the CSI Dolphins, along with Baruch College. And, over the last several years, their program has struggled a little bit, but it's nice to see them starting to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, and they've been doing it defensively, Mike. They're not a team that scores a tremendous amount of points, even though they have a couple of good scorers. They're only averaging 56 points a game, but they're only giving up 57. So they're a tough team. They're a stout team. They don't like to make things easy. They do press in the backcourt at times, which has given the Dolphins problems at times this season. So, again, they gave the Dolphins some problems in the early season, and if not for a big third quarter in that regular season game, that was a pretty even game almost the entire way.
And, you look at these York College statistics, Dave, and Mac Dedge, the sources, leading the team with a double-double, 13.4 points a game, 13.2 rebounds a game, and shooting nearly 50% from the field. So that's a player the Dolphins are going to have to contend with here tonight.
Oh, no doubt about it. She's their leading scorer. She's started in all but one game this season, and she's been she gets a lot of production. 27 minutes per game, but shooting just south of 50% from the field. She lives on the inside. She's got the 13.2 rebounds, as you mentioned, very good on the glass. And, if the Dolphins want to stop the Cardinals, they got to start by stopping her.
Yeah, and, Dave, you mentioned that the Cardinals, although improved, coming in struggling a little bit offensively, averaging just over 55.5 points a game, Dave. And they're going to be facing a Dolphin team that averages just under 73 points a game. So they're going to really need to play very solid defense on the Dolphins here tonight.
Yeah, and in their last three wins, Mike, the Dolphins have been up over 80 points. And, if you look at the CUNY portion of their schedule, Mike, they're averaging about 82 points against CUNY competition. Firing on all cylinders. This should be a good one. The defense of York against the offense of the Dolphins right here at the tank.
So that really is going to be our pregame show here tonight as you're watching the first of two games. It's actually Pride Night here at the tank at the College of Staten Island. Come down, come watch the games, come pick up a T-shirt, come pick up a food voucher if it's something that can help you, and really show your pride in the Dolphins here tonight. Big doubleheader basketball, and as we mentioned earlier, about a half hour or so after the women's game will be followed up by the men's game. So what we're going to do is we're going to step aside here. We're going to take a break. We'll get the national anthem played, and we'll be back to bring you the starting lineups and the start of tonight's doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and York College as you're watching doubleheader basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSI Dolphins.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body. at 718-447-4898.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and York College. The Dolphins coming in on a 7-game winning streak, 12-8 overall. York College coming into tonight's game with a record of 7-12. So while the players are being introduced out on the floor, why don't we bring you the starting lineups for tonight's game? Starting with the visiting York Cardinals, it'll be number 10, Diana Jacoby, number 11, Elma Hodzik, number 12, Macdej DeSauces, number 15, Christina Sierra, and number 21, Kayla Cabrera. The Cardinals coached by head coach Anastasia Bittes. For your College of Staten Island Dolphins, a team coming in with a 7-game winning streak, having won 10 out of their last 11 games. It's going to be a familiar starting 5. Number 1, Megan McEwen. Number 10, Jada Rogers. Number 13, Diana Tadero. Number 14, Brianna Robisky. And number 25, Kayla Schmitter. For those of you that might have missed the pregame show, just a little bit of an injury update. Christina Ravello not in the starting lineup tonight, so she will not be available for the College of Staten Island. So, Dave, the Dolphins will go in a little short here tonight, but ready to come out and continue and try to build on that 7-game winning streak.
Yeah, well, you know what, Mike? When one person is injured on the bench, it's an opportunity for someone else to step up. We saw in the blowout win against Medgar Evers the other day, Mike, the game that you had covered with both TJ and Nick on the air, how players like Elena DeMontro came off the bench, Lola Plamenco. So it's an opportunity for the Dolphins to get other players in and earn some time. And Dolphins, of course, will look to build on a tremendous streak against the York Cardinals.
Yeah, as you see on your screen, the Dolphins leading the overall series, having won 68 of the 76 games. The previous meeting took place a couple of weeks ago. The Dolphins winning by 14 games, and you see that CSI is on that 7-game winning streak that they'll look to continue to build on here today. And, you know, Dave, the Dolphin team started out slow, but they really kept their eye on continuing to improve and get better throughout the year, and now they find themselves having won 12 out of their last 14 games.
Yeah, and the concentration has been against CUNY opponents, but those first 6 games where the Dolphins started 0-6, it made them stronger. It made them more resilient. It made them more focused in practice, more attuned to what their opponents were doing. And in so doing, they've gotten a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot more cohesive, and they're winning games.
So there's the opening tip, and we're underway here as the Dolphins control the basketball and will set up offensively on Pride Night here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island. McEwen feeding the ball inside now, looking for Rogers. Her pass is going to be stolen away. A nice play by Megan to go to the ground and keep the ball. And actually, Dolphins might get a little bit of a break there, Dave, as we're going to have a foul called on the Cardinals here in that first sequence. And Coach Bittis really doesn't like the call, and I'm not sure I blame her that much, Dave. Here in the opening going, a couple plays going to the floor, and the Cardinals end up with a personal foul on Jacoby.
Yeah, certainly, and they don't want to get any of their marquee players in foul trouble either.
So now the Dolphins with possession of the basketball as it's Schmitter out behind the three-point line as the Dolphins look to feed it inside, that time to Tadero, but a good play by DeSauces as the Dolphins turn it over.
Yeah, Dolphins give it back a little bit there.
Kobe with the basketball. Bounce pass goes over to Sierra. That short jumper in the lane by DeSauces is up no good. And here comes Tadero with the rebound looking to run. McEwen fakes the pass over. Tadero comes all the way down the floor to grab the offensive rebound. Her putback is no good. And the Cardinals come away with the basketball. So good hustle that time by Tadero, but the Dolphins can't get rewarded with a basket.
Yeah, on that last exchange, there was like 8 out of the 10 players on the floor were in the paint, Mike, all jockeying for position.
Cardinals looking to work the basketball around as they look to feed the ball inside. A nice feed that time as Cabrera lays it up and in. And, you know, Dave, you can see a lot crisper ball movement by this Cardinal team than what we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they move the ball around pretty well. There's a lot of communication going on the floor.
as that's Rubisky with the basketball now for the Dolphins. She feeds it over to Rogers. Rogers' floater in the lane is up, no good. Schmitter there to grab the rebound. She can't put it back in, but she will draw the foul as the Cardinals pick up 2 quick team fouls here in this first quarter. That foul will be on MacDenge DeSources, so DeSources will pick up her first personal foul as Schmitter will go to the free throw line and miss the first. Kayla, a 79% free throw shooter coming into the game, now 30 of 39 from the free throw line this year. Her second free throw is up and in, so she splits a pair, and the Dolphins trail 2-1.
Well, Dolphins at least on the board, get that first point out of the way. Now got to tighten up defensively and string together some good shots.
Jacoby with the basketball, feeding it over to Sierra. Just one senior out on the floor for the Cardinals, and that is Diana, as that ball is going to be dribbled off her foot and out of bounds. So the Cardinals pick up their first turnover of the game.
Yeah, and if you're the Cardinals, that's the one thing you do not want to do. So you do not want to turn the ball over, give the Dolphins free points the other way, points coming off turnovers. Got to protect the basketball.
Yeah, and that's been a problem for the Cardinals this year, Dave, averaging just under 26 turnovers a game. They're going to need to tighten that up here this afternoon against the Dolphins as Schmitter puts up the long three-pointer. That's no good. It will go out of bounds, and it will be Cardinal basketball.
Yeah, we've seen that from Schmitter. If they don't respect the outside shot, she'll take them and make them from back there, and that'll force the York defense to come up, and that's when she hits the paint and gets buckets underneath.
Dolphins a little bit off to a slow start here, 0 for 4 from the field so far this afternoon. A feed inside is going to be stolen away by Tadero, but her outlet pass will be over McEwen, so the teams will exchange turnovers, and it will be Cardinal basketball.
Yeah, a little sloppy on both ends there. That time Diana had the right idea. She had a streaky McEwen going up the floor, but a little too much out ahead of her, and York retains the 1-point advantage.
So it will be the Cardinals with the basketball and a 1-point lead as they work the ball over in the corner. And that pass is going to head back toward the midcourt line. Rubisky able to come away with the steal, drive it down the lane, and that time Cabrera was riding on Brianna's back, and she's going to get called for the personal. And, Dave, you mentioned it earlier. If you're the Cardinals, you don't want your starting players getting into early foul trouble.
No, you don't. And that was just a really good play by Brianna to scoop that up cleanly and make a break towards the basket. Getting fouled in the process, very nearly hit it. Dolphins still looking for their first field goal, but they're now 2 of 3 from the line to tie this game up.
Brianna coming in shooting 61% from the free throw line as she hits them both, and the Dolphins have their first lead of the afternoon, 3-2. Dolphins still looking for their first basket here in the afternoon, but the Cardinals struggling from the field as well. Only have gotten 2 shots up so far, Dave.
Yeah, and a couple of turnovers for sure on this end of the floor.
DeSources with the basketball. She stops. Her pull-up jumper is no good. Schmitter there with the rebound, and the Dolphins looking to run once again. Tadero picks up the dribble. Now she gets it back. Her jumper from the baseline goes in and out. A fight for the rebound, and it looks like we're going to have a loose ball foul called on Diana Tadero.
Yeah, that's something she does really well is follow her shots, and that time just a little bit too aggressive there going in against Jacome, who was there first and was the victim of that foul call.
So Diana will pick up the foul. She already has 3 rebounds, Dave, in the first 3.5 minutes, as it's the Cardinals with the basketball in this low-scoring affair. As that's Hotzik, she puts up that jumper. That's no good. Rogers coming back to grab the rebound for the Dolphins.
One thing I like about York, though, is they are taking those open jumpers, Mike, when they have the opportunity. We've seen teams kind of insist on penetrating inside against the Dolphins, but York has been left open for a couple of open jumpers, and York has not been shy about taking them. They just haven't hit them.
So the Dolphins commit their 4th turnover here in the early in this game. A Dolphin team averaging under 18 turnovers a game, 4 turnovers through the first 4 minutes. DeSources. Tough jumper from the baseline is good. Nice shot that time by MacDenge DeSources, and the Cardinals lead 4-3.
Yeah, she's dynamic in that way. That's the second time she's kind of driven in from that right side, penetrated the baseline, and that time she got the jumper to go.
Schmitter looking to feed it inside to Tadero. The ball knocked away, but the Dolphins recover. Long outside jumper by McEwen is up, no good. And the Dolphins struggle from the field continues. They've yet to hit a shot now. They're 0 for 6. Rogers looking to defend DeSauces with the basketball, and I believe she's going to be called for the travel. So both teams turning the ball over here. Both teams with 4 turnovers. The team shooting a combined 2 for 11. The Cardinals with both baskets, and they lead by a score of 4-3. Not the offensive start, no. Dave, the Dolphins were looking for.
Yeah, well, we said it was York's defense against CSI's offense, and at least in the first 5 minutes, York won that battle, but the Dolphins have another lead.
Yeah, so that time the Dolphins work the ball inside to Schmitter. Kayla lays it in. Dolphins get their first basket and a 5-4 lead. Jacoby with the basket. She feeds the ball inside to Hotzek. Now they get the ball inside, and able to put it up and in is Diamond Jackson as she gets her first basket of the year, the 5'8" senior. And York retakes a 6-5 lead.
Now it's a nice pretty move by Diamond Jackson on the inside. She's come off the bench all 17 of games that she's played.
Tadero has her shot blocked, but able to grab her own rebound. Now the Dolphins work it across to McEwen. Over to Rubisky, back up over to Schmidt. A nice feed inside to Tadero, who lays it up and in. Nice interior pass that time for the Dolphins.
Yeah, good recognition by Schmitter, knowing exactly where Tadero was going to break underneath the basket, and then they were in perfect sync for that pass and shot.
So the Dolphins have hit their last 2 shots, and they take a 7-6 lead. That baseline jumper is up and in by Jackson. So Jackson coming in, hitting her first 2 shots, and York regains the 8-7 lead.
She's at her season average. She averages 4 points a game, and now has hit that in the early stages.
Dolphins turn it over again, and now Jackson's going to get called for the travel. So both teams turning the ball over a lot here in the first quarter, and we're going to have a timeout taken on the floor. So we're going to step aside and take a break. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in this first quarter. Dolphins trail 8-7. You're watching women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Hey, Sam. Thank you. First quarter, the Dolphins find themselves down by a score of 8-7 as the Cardinals have come out. They've shown some nice offensive sequences, Dave. They've been able to get the ball inside. Diamond Jackson came out, hit her first couple of shots, and Macdedge DeSauces, the player averaging a double-double for the Cardinals, playing well in this first quarter as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If not for the turnovers for both teams, we'd be in pretty decent shape. That's the only thing that really needs to be cleaned up. Otherwise, both teams starting pretty strong.
So the Dolphins with the basketball, finding themselves down by 1 as they feed the ball inside to Deidre Foster, who lays it up and in. And Dave, we were talking a little bit about it off the air, but Deidre continues to improve every game she plays.
Yeah, and that time, Tadaro goes to the bench and Foster comes in, and they really don't miss a beat. That time on the back door, is able to get the layup to go.
So the Dolphins now regain the lead 9-8 as that floater in the lane is up no good. And McEwen there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. McEwen, long cross-court pass in the corner over to Rubisky. Her open three-pointer, no good. And Hotzek there for the rebound for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was a great pass by McEwen to find Rubisky on the other side of the court. Dolphins just couldn't finish as that one went off the back iron.
So Hotzik dribbling the ball down. Now she feeds it out over to Jackson. She works it up over to DeSauces, whose long jumper is good, and the Cardinals continue their strong shooting here in the first half. They're now 5 of 9, Dave, from the field.
Yeah, and again, if not for those turnovers, they'd be in great shape. They started the game, Mike, I think you mentioned they had like 4 turnovers, only 2 shots to start things off.
Now it's Rogers pulling up, and her long 2-point jumper is good. So both teams starting to pick it up a little bit offensively, Dave.
Yeah, for sure. And that time that was a 3-pointer that, a 2-pointer that if it was just a couple of inches more, that would have been a nice 2.
First basket of the game for Rogers, and the Dolphins regain the lead 11-10 as scores seesawed back and forth here over the last couple of minutes. Forster coming away with the basketball, now feeding it to McEwen. Now over to Schmitter, her runner in the lane. No good. DeSauces there for the rebound for the Cardinals. Hotzik with the basketball. And a nice play by McEwen, anticipating that pass, coming away with the turnover, taking it coast to coast, but can't hit the layup.
Yeah, definitely wanted a little contact there, didn't get it.
Sierra with the basketball. Her pass inside is stolen away by Schmitter, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul in the backcourt, as that foul will be on Elma Hotzik. So Hotzik will pick up her first, team's 4th, and we'll have a substitution here for the Dolphins.
Check out Jada's feet here on this 3, and that's the right call.
So it's going to be Ilana DeMontro checking into the game, coming in early in this one, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be Kayla Schmitter coming off, so the Dolphins going a little smaller here in their lineup.
McEwen with the basketball now. Now feeds it out over to DeMontro. Now back up over to McEwen. Now it's Rogers out at the 3-point line. It's the Dolphins looking to get the ball inside to Forster. Now they do. She works the ball back out. The long jumper that time by Moylan is up, no good, but she's able to come away with the rebound. Now Rogers banks it home in the lane, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the afternoon.
You know, Mike, it's the little things. You know, following your shot after a miss, that's exactly what Torrey did. Got the Dolphins a second life, and then Jada Rogers makes them pay.
Now it's the Cardinals with the basketball, as we're inside of 25 seconds remaining here in this first quarter, as they look to feed it over to DeSauces. Her bank shot is up, no good. Forced it there to grab the rebound, and the Dolphins now in possession of the basketball, and the shot clock is off. McEwen looking to set things up offensively now with 8 seconds remaining. McEwen looking to take it inside. That shot is up, no good. DeSauces grabs the rebound. She feeds it up over to Jacoby, but she won't be able to get the shot up, and that's going to do it here in the first quarter. 1 quarter in the books, and the Dolphins will go into the second quarter with a 13-10 lead. So we're going to step aside and take a break. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves. Our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We're back getting ready for the start of the second quarter. The Dolphins lead after one quarter by a score of 13-10. And, you know, Dave, it was a quarter that started off. The Dolphins were shooting. They missed, I believe, their first 7 shots, but they've hit 5 out of their last 10, and they go into quarter number 2 with their biggest lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, you know what? Considering they only shot 29% and York shot 50, Mike, they're up by 3. You don't see that very often. And, you know, the Dolphins get to start the final 30 minutes up by a trio, and we'll see if they can build.
So it'll be the Cardinals with the basketball here, as that's Jacoby working the ball out in the corner to Jackson. Now she feeds the ball inside to DeSauces, who's looking to work against the freshman, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Dolphins. Let's see who the official calls on that one, as that's going to be on Moylan. So Moylan will pick up her first foul, and the Cardinals will inbound the basketball with 20 on the shot clock. DeSauces out by the three-point line. Now she gets the ball inside the key. A short floater in the lane is good. As that time she was able to post Forster up and hit the basket and draw the Cardinals to within 1.
Yeah, DeSauces is shooting just under 50% for the season, and you could tell watching her, she doesn't take the easiest shots either, Mike. Always very contested. Mid-range game is strong.
Forster now looking to feed the ball inside, and that's going to be last touch by the Dolphins. So the Dolphins will turn it over for the first time here in this second quarter, but they have 6 turnovers already, Dave, on the afternoon.
Yeah, probably back it up a little to see if Torrey was indeed the last one to touch that.
So it's the Cardinals now bringing the ball up the floor. That's Jacoby with the basketball. She's looking to work against McEwen. She picks up her dribble and now feeds the ball up over to Hotzik. Now it's Jackson out at the free throw line extended. She tries to drive her way in, and we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like an offensive foul is going to be called against Diamond Jackson. It is. That will be the first foul for Diamond and the first team foul for the Cardinals here in this second quarter.
Yes, indeed. So it looked like Jackson may have been guilty of a travel there as well, Mike. She had that ball on her hip for a stretch. Dolphins will take that instead.
So Forster thought about the three-point, and now she takes it. It's up no good, but the outlet pass is stolen away. McEwen, beautiful feed inside that time to Rogers, and she can't hit the layup. Nice turnover by the Dolphins, but they can't complete the layup as the Cardinals look to bring the ball down quickly, and Jackson able to keep the ball in bounds. A pass is near the backcourt and now over the backcourt, so the Cardinals will turn the ball over once again, and I believe, Dave, that's going to be the 11th turnover here for York in this second quarter. And, you know, Dave, if the Cardinals are going to hope to play with the Dolphins throughout the 40 minutes, they're going to need to cut those turnovers down.
Yeah, Elma Hotzik and Jada Rogers went down hard on that last exchange too, but both got up under their own power immediately.
Now it's Tadero. She feeds the ball out, but it's going to be stolen away by Sierra. And now it's the Cardinals with the basketball down by 1. Open jump shot taken that time is up no good, as Sierra had the open jumper. And here come the Dolphins feeding it ahead of the field to Forster, who lays it up and in. 2 good plays, Dave, by the freshman.
Yeah, and Foster's in perfect position. She, as soon as that shot was off, she made a beeline right to the basket, and Dolphins taking advantage of their speed.
As we're going to have a foul out on the floor, as Megan McEwen will pick up the personal, and for Megan, that will be her first, the team's second. So Alana DeMontro will check out, Brianna Robisky will check back in, and the Cardinals will inbound with 21 seconds on the shot clock.
And Cammie Melson has come in for York. She will be inbounding here, her back toward us.
So Melson looking to inbound the basketball, tipped away nicely by Forster and stolen away by McEwen, as the Cardinals pick up their 12th turnover, and then the Dolphins pick up their 8th.
I'll tell you what, Megan McEwen has yet to enter the scoring column, but her passes have been really good here in this game.
DeSauces with the jumper from the baseline. That's up, no good. And the Dolphins grab the rebound, feed it ahead of the field to McEwen, and this time she's able to lay it up and in.
You're starting to get the sense of how the Dolphins are going to outwork the Cardinals, Mike, in this one. And if they're going to win the game, they're going to do it with their speed and with their transition game. They are wasting no time It's like a track meet as soon as there's a missed basket.
Yeah, Cardinals with just one basket here in this second quarter and now find themselves down by 5 as that's the Sources with the basketball, and she's going to draw the foul.
Yeah,
And
like all good players, Mike, the Sources recognizing her team is up against the wall, taking matters into her own hands, creating a shot when it didn't look like there was much of a window for one, and she'll get 2 attempts here from the free throw line where she's a 56% free throw shooter.
So 2 shots upcoming here with 6 minutes and 54 seconds remaining as that first free throw is up and in. And Cardinals, Dave, with just 13 shots on the afternoon in over 13 minutes of play.
And how many turnovers do they have now, Mike? That's
12.
Yeah.
So 1 more upcoming. As that second free throw is up, no good. And Wabisky there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. For Brianna, her second rebound of the afternoon as she brings the ball across the midcourt line. Wabisky driving down the lane, kicks the ball out over to Rogers, and a whistle and a jump ball possession, and possession arrow will remain with the Dolphins. Lana DiMontro checking back into the game for the Dolphins.
Dolphins are getting a free 30 seconds out of this. They might have to, oh, there we go, 17.
So McEwen going over to the bench. Coach is having some words with her. Get her ready to get back on the floor. And in the meantime, it'll be DiMontro distributing the ball for the Dolphins. Wabisky. Rogers back up over to Wabisky. Open three-pointer is up, no good. Brianna missing both of her three-point attempts so far here this afternoon. And the Cardinals with the basketball down by 4. And they're going to throw it away once again.
Yeah, Wabisky's looks have been open looks too, Mike. She's a tremendous defensive player, but could really use one of those to go down, build up her confidence on the offensive part of the floor.
17-13 now. Wabisky at the baseline. Her pass over to Rogers. Her shot is up, no good, but she's able to stick with it, grab her own rebound, and lay it up and in. Nice play that time by the freshman.
Yeah, Mike, and that's where the Dolphins have been strong, following their own shots, getting offensive rebounds, second chances.
19-13. Dolphins now with a 6-point lead as that shot is up, no good. Schmidt there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins, and here comes DiMontro with the basketball. Wabisky out at the three-point line. Now Rogers. Dolphins looking to get the ball inside to Tadero, not able to do so yet, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul out on the floor as we have an opportunity to see DiMontro bring the ball up the floor and feed it up over to Rogers, who follows up her shot in the lane and really did a nice job, Dave, really continuing to fight for possession throughout, ends up with a second chance opportunity and converts the basket as the Dolphins now off the inbounds. That long jumper is up, no good, but a nice job by Tadero to keep that ball alive, but McEwen's pass is going to be stolen away. Feed inside now as that's Cabrera, who can't hit the layup, but grabs her own rebound and puts the ball back up and in.
That's a big trip up the floor for York. They needed that. Got a nice turnover and stayed with it in their own right. Got a good look underneath the basket twice, and Cabrera made it hurt.
And the Dolphins nearly turned the ball over again, and that ball is going to be driven off the foot of Tadero, and now the Dolphins will turn it over, Dave. And, we mentioned 13 turnovers for the Cardinals. The Dolphins with 10 already, Dave.
Yeah, it's a big number for both of these teams. For York College, they're turning the ball over 25 times a game, so they're a little bit above their average this season.
Yeah, the Dolphins with a lot of turnovers.
The Dolphins are averaging 18 a game as well.
So now it's Hotzik with the basketball. Hotzik's driving down the lane. Her shot's no good. And Tadero there to grab the rebound, and here come the Dolphins looking to run. DiMontro feeding it up over to McEwen. McEwen's open three-pointer is off the rim, no good. Dolphins now 0 of 7 from the three-point line here this afternoon.
And hovering just over 30% for the game.
As Hodzik able to drive the ball right down the lane and lay it up and in, and last two baskets coming right inside the paint as the Cardinals have been able to penetrate inside this Dolphin defense. Pass out to DiMancho. Now she'll put up the three-pointer. That's no good. And the Cardinals there with the rebound and a chance to tie or regain the lead.
Yeah, three-pointers not falling for the Dolphins all evening long here.
Cardinals now with the basketball as they work the ball up over to Hodzik. Hodzik tried to float that one up in the lane. That's up no good. And Rubisky goes up strong for the rebound, and she's looking to run. Rubisky bounce pass inside to DiMancho, and that's going to be thrown out of bounds, and it will be another turnover for the Dolphins, turnover number 11. As we're going to have a full timeout on the floor, so we're going to step aside and take a break. 3 minutes, 36 seconds remaining in the first half. Dolphins 19, Cardinals 17. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 3 minutes and 36 seconds remaining here in this first half. The Dolphins have found their lead cut down to 2. Both teams with just 8 baskets here this afternoon. The Dolphins 8 of 27, York 8 of 19. And that shot by DeSaucis will be up and no good, but she'll go to the free throw line for the second time here this afternoon.
Yeah, several York players really like to drive in on the baseline. Might get those short baseline jumpers. It's been successful, and DeSaucis gets to the line for the second time.
As that first free throw is up and in, and it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, and, shades of the earlier regular season meeting between these two teams, Mike, where, these two teams played pretty much neck and neck. The Dolphins were always ahead in that game, but York was like that, buzzing fly that never seemed to go away, and it wasn't until the third quarter where the Dolphins exploded offensively, but this has been a stalemate here.
Cardinals in the middle of a 6-0 run. As that's McEwen. Her jumper in the lane is up no good, but going in and grabbing the rebound is forced. She can't hit the putback, but Tadero grabs it once again, and the Dolphins will have a third opportunity. Rogers over to DiMancho, back out over to Rogers with 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Feed inside to Forster. Her shot is up no good, and the rebound grab by the Cardinals will have an opportunity to retake the lead.
Yeah, Dolphins having problems trying to get the ball inside. A couple of quick open looks, but the windows closed very, very quickly.
Dolphins with just 6 points here in this second quarter. As that's Melson feeding the ball inside, and that shot is up no good. Rebound tipped, and DiMancho controls for the Dolphins.
Another short baseline jumper miss for York.
That time, it's going to be Rogers driving down the lane, and she's going to draw the foul. So that foul will be on Hodzik. That's going to be her second, the team's third, and that will send Jada Rogers to the free throw line to shoot 2 after the York College substitution. Diana Jacomi is going to check into the game. She'll replace Cammie Melson, as Rogers has 2 free throws, and she hits the first.
Rogers this season 64% from the line, having herself a terrific freshman campaign. Highly touted recruit for the Dolphins.
As the second free throw is up and in, so she hits the pair, and that gives the Dolphins a 2-point lead.
I think the Dolphins might have taken a 30-second timeout.
They did, Dave. So why do we keep it right here? As you know, we look at the score sheet here, Dave, and Dolphins really struggling from the floor, Dave, shooting just 8 of 30, and like we mentioned before, now just 8 points here in the second quarter.
Yeah. Dolphins are very fortunate. They've had 10 more shots than York has had, and that's a product of York being a little sloppy with the basketball, and the Dolphins also are really dominating on the offensive glass. That's really been the one area where the Dolphins have really been very strong. Now 9-1 advantage in the offensive rebound category, so that's where the Dolphins have gotten some good second chance looks, but all of that has only merited them a 2-point lead here.
Yes, as it's the Dolphins looking to press now in the backcourt, and here come the Cardinals looking to break it, as that's Jacoby who has the ball stolen away by Rogers. Rogers looking to take it coast to coast, and she's going to draw the foul, and that foul's going to be on Hotzik, Dave, and that's going to be her third.
Yeah, I love that play by Rogers because, first of all, York had no idea she was still in the backcourt. She makes up ground, gets the steal, and then, Mike, she never even thinks about slowing down her dribble. She goes right to the hole, gets the contact, almost got the layup to go. Just a nice, complete play by Jada Rogers. And I was going to say, the only thing that would make it sweeter is hitting both of these free throws, and she makes the first.
Yeah, so she hits the first. She's now hit her 3 free throws for the game. She leads the Dolphins in scoring with 9, and she'll have one more upcoming, and she misses the second, and the rebound grabbed there by Cabrera. So the Cardinals with the basketball down by 3 inside of 2 minutes remaining here in this first half. Hotzik with the basketball, staying in the game despite the 3 personals. Hotzik at the free throw line extended. Now it's the Sources who's going to get called for the travel. And a big minute, 44 seconds, Dave, remaining for the Dolphins here in this first half.
Yeah, and if you're York, it's a huge minute and 44 because they're within striking distance. And when they go back into the locker room, Mike, they're going to say, we have got to protect the ball. If we simply just protect the ball, we're going to be in so much better shape, but too many turnovers here for York.
DiMaggio with the basketball. Now McEwen feeds it to Tadero along the back baseline. Back to McEwen. Her three-pointer is up, no good. It'll be last touch by the Dolphins. Dave, the Dolphins now 0 of 9 from the three-point line.
Yeah, they have not fallen at all. York just 0 of 1, so we're yet to see a three-pointer in either direction.
So now it's the Cardinals with the basketball as they look to break the Dolphin press and have a 3-on-1 break. They feed it over to DeSauces, who lays it up and in. Good job that time by the Cardinals to break the Dolphin press.
Yeah, Dolphins, were aggressive with the press, but York was up to the challenge.
Dolphins now with the basketball as it's Rogers feeding it over to DiMaggio. Bounce pass goes inside to Tadero. They feed the ball back out over to McEwen now as the Dolphins back the ball out inside of 10 seconds on the shot clock. Tadero's jumper is up, no good. Fight for the rebound is going to go out of bounds. Once again, last touch by the Dolphins. So it will be Cardinal basketball with an opportunity to regain the lead once again.
Yeah, CSI didn't offer any protest there, but that was close. It looked like it might have been off York player, but I guess since the Dolphins really didn't think much to argue, then call was made right. The differential between shot and game, 18 seconds.
Robisky nearly comes away with the steal, but instead the Cardinals able to get it over to DeSauces. Her jumper is up, no good, and Rogers able to come away with the long rebound for the Dolphins. Rogers taking it all the way. Her shot is up, no good, and the rebound grabbed there by Melson as we have about a 2.5 second differential with the shot clock and the game clock, and the Cardinals once again with an opportunity to regain the lead.
Yep. Rogers going to be hard to convince that she wasn't interfered with on that last trip down by Melson.
Colby with the basketball. Now it's Melson. Now they feed it inside to DeSauces. 7 seconds on the shot clock. The pass inside is going to be knocked away and stolen as Rogers gets it to McEwen. Her shot is up, no good, and she might have had a little bit more time, Dave, but she puts it up, and that's going to take us to the first half The Dolphins will go into halftime with a 22-21 lead, a very low-scoring first half here at the Tank.
Yeah, certainly, Mike. Not the kind of half offensively that either of these teams would like, but we go into halftime, the Dolphins nursing a 1-point lead. And, Mike, for the kind of half that they played, not the worst thing in the world to go into halftime. As, you know, we'll wait for one of the coaching staff to join us here, and we could talk a little bit more about the first 20.
Yeah, you know, Dave, the Dolphins 0 of 3 from the three-point line in this first half. They did a nice job from the free throw line, but really, Dave, from the Dolphin point of view, just way too many turnovers, 11 turnovers, and you know, if you're York College, you know you needed to keep this a low-scoring affair, and they certainly did a good job doing that here in the first half.
Yeah, got to keep it defensive, and despite all the turnovers that they had, and you know, poor, you know, not great shooting in their own right, just over 40%. All things considered, you know, they're very much in this game. They're one possession away from taking this lead, and it's been back and forth all game long so far, Mike. Just a couple of possessions of a difference each trip down the floor.
And you know, Dave, the way the Dolphins have come in red hot here this afternoon, you know they have to be surprised. Look at the scoring totals for the first half: 13 and 9, Dave, through 2 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's just, you know, those are numbers that are not going to get it done a lot of the time, Mike. But when you're playing a team very defensive like York is, remember what we said in the pregame, Mike. York only averages about 52, 53 points a game, actually 55 points per game. So, you know, right now this is a game that they like.
Yeah, so we're at halftime here as the College of Staten Island leading by a score of 22-21 as assistant coach Kelsey Carey, nice enough to come over and join us. Coach, very low scoring first half. The Dolphins struggling to score here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, we just shot 17% in the second quarter. I mean, no matter who the opponent is, that's not going to get the job done. So we're not getting the shots we want, and the shots we are getting, we're not hitting. So.
And, you know, Coach, the team did a nice job forcing 16 turnovers, but you did turn the ball over 11 times yourself. How do you limit those turnovers in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's just being smarter. We're making passes right now that aren't necessarily the smartest, and they're kind of hard and difficult, and we're just telling them, girls, you got to make the simple pass, and I think if we come out and do that, we'll be okay.
Yeah, and Coach, you know, obviously a less than stellar first 20 minutes, but all things considered, after 20, you're still up by 1, and you've been able to keep York off the scoreboard for the most part, keep holding them to 21. What do you guys got to do over these next 20 to make sure and secure this victory?
I think you already mentioned it. We got to clean up our turnovers and our passing, and obviously our shooting percentage isn't what we want it to be. So we come out, we fix those 2 things, and, you know, hopefully we get a good win.
Thanks for coming over and joining us, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
That's assistant coach Kelsey Carey, nice enough to take a minute and come over and join us at halftime, where the College of Staten Island leads York College, I should say, by a score of 22-21. So we're going to step aside, take a break here for a couple of minutes. We'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching doubleheader basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. but insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. it's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island leads the York Cardinals by a score of 22-21. And for the College of Staten Island, a tough offensive first half. They struggled to shoot the ball. They were just 8 of 34 from the field, 0 of 10 from the three-point line. And although they were able to out-rebound York College 23-18, including 10-1 on the offensive glass, Dave, the Dolphins find themselves going into halftime with just a 1-point lead.
Yeah, a lot of, misfortune in a lot of areas for the Dolphins. Like you mentioned, they're only shooting 23.5%. They're 0 for the three-point line, which is a place where they don't shoot the ball particularly well from beyond the arc, Mike, but they do depend on the three-point shot in spurts this season. They've done well from the line. They've done well rebounding, but they've been sloppy. They have 11 turnovers, a lot of them in the first quarter when they had chances to kind of extend their lead in stretches. So, it doesn't have to be pretty to be a victory, Mike, and that's what the Dolphins are hoping after the first 20, that they can right the ship and play a better 20 minutes. And if they do, they'll come out of here with a W after a sloppy first half of play.
Dave, you have to go all the way back to January 6th since the last time the Dolphins failed to score 70 points in a game, and that was actually the game you referenced earlier against York College out at Queens, where the Dolphins scored just 64 points, and York doing another good job here this afternoon, allowing just 22 points to the Dolphins here in the first half. So the Cardinals are doing what they need to do on the defensive end.
Yeah, and they're really doing what they've been doing all season, which is play good, strong defensive basketball. In that first game against CSI, they only scored 50 points. So it's not like this is a team that's going to beat you offensively. They're a team that's going to grind you down defensively. In the first matchup between these two teams, Mike, the Dolphins scored just 28 first-half points. And, in that game on the road, the Dolphins shot just 29% in the first half of that game. Now, they were 5 of 18 from beyond the arc, and they did do well. They did do well on the glass, but they protected the ball in that game, and that's why the Dolphins were able to score the 28, go up by, a small handful of points in the first half of that game, and then
having won their last 7 games, and they've really played good basketball. You look back at the way they played, and you go back to their wins over John Jay and CCNY and Cabrini, and they've really played well. And the good thing, if you're a Dolphins fan, Dave, an opportunity, one more shot at Hunter College later in the season.
Yeah, and they'll feel a lot better going into that game, Mike, if they're able to hold on these next 20 minutes and take this one against a really tough, gritty York team. They're 7-12 coming into this game, 4-6 in the CUNY Conference. And, Mike, we haven't referenced it. I know everybody already knows, but the Dolphins don't get a chance to play in the CUNY postseason. York does, and they want to be a really strong team, put a good foot forward. Are they going to really be considered a championship caliber CUNY team? Maybe not this year, but they have youth up and down their roster. And, what a statement they could make, Mike, if they could win this game or make it a game right down to the final minutes. They know that will send reverberations throughout the CUNY Conference as they look ahead to potential playoff appearances.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Dave. And as you look over this Medgar Evers schedule and their wins within the conference this year, they've beaten Lehman twice. They've beaten Medgar Evers, and they've beaten CCNY. And, those are some pretty good wins for a program that we mentioned that struggled over the last few years that were underway. Here in the second half, the Cardinals with the basketball and an opportunity to regain the lead. They feed inside looking for DeSauces. It's knocked away, but Jacoby there to grab the ball. The shot is up, no good. The ball's going to be tipped around, and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Dolphins, so it'll remain Cardinal basketball. Good start to the second half for the Cardinals.
Yeah, so they retained possession there after a scare, almost turning the ball over again. York with the 16 first half turnovers.
I think the officials deciding what to do about the shot clock, Dave. It's reset to 20 right now, and I don't think the ball hit the rim, so they're going to look. It looks like they may reset it.
I think they're going to put 10 on. Yep.
Yeah, they are going to wind it down to 10. So the Cardinals with the basketball and 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Dolphins, good job inbounding the basketball as that ball is nearly a backcourt violation, but a nice job to get the ball up over to DeSauces. And we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on the Cardinals, Dave.
Yeah, the ball was errant. It had gotten away from DeSauces. She was chasing it down and kind of barreled over Tadaro in the process, and that's the second on DeSauces.
So that'll be the first turnover of the second half, and it'll be Dolphins with the basketball. Rogers over to Schmitter. Schmitter's open three-pointer halfway down and out, but this time Tadaro there to grab the rebound and lay it up and in.
It's the Dolphins' 11th offensive rebound, and for Tadaro now she's got 8.
So the Dolphins now with a 3-point lead as they try to turn up a little defensive intensity, but the Cardinals come away with the basketball, and Schmitter able to grab the rebound.
I misspoke before. That was Tadaro's 9th rebound of the game.
Wabisky with the basketball out by the 3-point line now with Schmitter. Tadaro along the baseline as the Dolphins look to set up offensively now with 15 on the shot clock. Wabisky now inside at 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock, guarded by Sierra. She tries to drive her way inside, but instead she'll pick up the offensive foul.
Yeah, Rubisky just hasn't been able to get it going offensively. She does have the 2 free throws in the game, but otherwise stuck on 2.
So that will be the first team foul for the Dolphins. Both teams with 1 team foul here at quarter number 3. And for Brianna, that will be her first personal foul.
Dolphins once again employing a little bit of a press.
It'll be Jacoby with the basketball as she looks to set things up offensively. Dolphins with the lone basket here in this second half has taken the ball down the lane and driving it inside. That time is Hotzik, and Schmitter gets called for the foul. She can't believe it, Dave.
Yeah, she's I mean, this camera work that we have right now is just abominable. I hope Joe Foreman's listening on the other side so we can get that taken care of. So we apologize for that. But anyway, Kayla Schmitter went straight up with that, Mike. She might have extended the elbow a little bit, get called for the foul, and a chance here.
So Hotzik to the free throw line. She's a 61% free throw shooter. She splits the pair.
Take them right off.
And that's going to cut the Dolphin lead down to 2. Rogers with the basketball. Over to Schmitter. Schmitter working the ball out over to Rogers. Rogers' open jumper is up, no good. The ball tipped around, and McEwen comes away with the basketball, but a pass inside is going to be out of bounds, and the Dolphins turn the ball over once again. And, once again, Dave, this a very low-scoring, grinded-out kind of game, exactly the kind of game the Cardinals are looking to play. The Dolphins now 9 of 37 from the field.
Yeah, exactly. And, Dolphins are playing a team that has problems scoring, but they need to get really their engines firing as we have a travel here called on York and Diamond Jackson.
Yeah, so Jackson's going to pick up the travel violation as the turnovers continue for both teams here in this third quarter. And the Dolphins with the basketball. Rogers out beyond the 3-point line to Darrow. Bounce pass inside to Schmitter, and she's able to lay it up and in. And that time, Schmitter just posted up Cabrera and laid it up and in, Dave.
Yeah, Schmitter, too, with a really slow start to this game. We didn't see a lot of her, offensively in the first half. But if she can catch some fire here along on the inside with Tadaro, this could be a big half for the Dolphins.
So McEwen picks up the personal in the backcourt. She doesn't like the call. And now the Cardinals with the basketball as McEwen with her second personal. Has taken the ball all the way to the basket is Jacoby, but she can't hit the layup. As we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like a timeout will be taken on the floor, Dave. It looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout, so why don't we keep it right here as both teams offensively continue to struggle.
Yeah, Mike. And it's going to be a battle of attrition, it seems. Whoever has the ball has to just make sure they're getting good quality shots. Mike, that's step one. As we're in the midst of getting our camera sorted out, we apologize. Need a level up there, Mike.
So here in this third quarter, the Dolphins with 4 points, the Cardinals with 1, as both teams continue to struggle. And, Dave, you saw something you liked on one of the last offensive possessions when they fed the ball right inside to Schmitter, and she was able to post up Cabrera.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins need some more of that. Schmitter was, living on the outside a little bit. She took a three-pointer early, followed up with another three-pointer from the corner, and misfired on those twos. But again, if they can establish their inside presence, I think where the Dolphins have really been strong is the play on the interior by Jada Rogers, by Diana Tadaro, and if they can get Kayla Schmitter warmed up and going, along with Deidre Foster coming off the bench, it could be a good, a good second half.
And through the first 23 minutes, neither team able to hit a three-point shot.
No, it's really rare. I mean, the Dolphins are only shooting 23% for the season from long distance. Actually, 31%. For the season. York is shooting just 23% from downtown, but for the Dolphins to be 0-11, that's a pretty strange number. We don't get to see that often, and Dolphins are 10 of 27 from inside the arc, and even that's not the healthiest of numbers. It hasn't been a strong shooting day for the Dolphins.
So it'll be the Cardinals to inbound the basketball as they look to work their way back from a 4-point deficit. They now look to feed it inside to Jackson, and now Tadaro will get called for the foul. And, Dave, that's 14 fouls for the Dolphins already through the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the board. Yeah, it's Tadaro's second foul.
So Diana with 2 as the Cardinals look to inbound. And on the next foul, York will go to the free throw line as they're able to feed that one inside to Hodzik, who lays it up and in. And that time, a little bit of a breakdown defensively for the Dolphins.
Yeah, again, and York, just all they need to do, Mike, is stay involved. Just stay in the game, stay within distance. That's what they need to do, and see if they can narrow the gap.
Another sloppy pass for the Dolphins. They're very fortunate that ball went off Hodzik, so the Dolphins will maintain possession with 17 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And Dave, the Dolphins just haven't gotten into a flow offensively all night.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Dolphins, we've been saying they're poor shooting, they've been sloppy with the basketball, but the bottom line, Mike, is you got to give a lot of credit to the York defense. They're not making anything easy. They're battling on the perimeter. They're forcing the point guards, Megan McEwen, Elena DiMancho, who just checks in, forcing them to make quick decisions in the backcourt. They're not allowing them to bark out offensive signals. So you got to tip your cap to the Cardinals, doing a really good job of keeping the Dolphins very uncomfortable in the half-court offense.
Dolphins with their third turnover of the quarter, their 14th of the game, and the Cardinals with the basketball with an opportunity to tie or retake the lead. Pass inside, pass to Jackson. Tadaro able to get her hands on it, but Jackson able to take the ball to the basket and float it up and in, and the Cardinals have tied this one up at 26.
Yeah, Jackson almost lost that twice, but had the wherewithal to stay with it and then sink the jumper up over Kayla Schmitter.
DiMancho played 8 minutes in that first half, and she's back in for the Dolphins as Schmitter puts up the three-pointer. That one is way off, but Tadaro there to grab the rebound and put it up and in.
Mike gets her 10th rebound. She's got 6 points. Coming off the miss again, it's another offensive rebound for Diana as well, and she's been a monster all season on the glass, and tonight is no different.
Dolphins now outscoring the Cardinals in second chance points, 11-4, as the Sources tried to run that one down the lane. Her shot was short, but the Dolphins not rebounding the basketball as Jackson able to grab it with 5 seconds on the shot clock as Hodzik taking it down the lane, and now we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul called on the Cardinals.
And I think that Tadaro is going to get credit for that rebound as well. as we'll get Foster in the game to replace Diana. And York will get a substitution in as well.
So it'll be the Dolphins to inbound the basketball, leading 28-26 with 5 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And, you know, like you mentioned, Dave, the Cardinals doing a very nice job defensively against this CSI Dolphins offense, which has played very well coming into the game here this afternoon.
Yeah, they're filling up passing lanes. You know, they're getting in the way of shots. They have hands all over the court. You can see how they sweep from side to side with their zone defense. They're doing a nice job.
Rogers working it out over to DeMontreux. Long cross-court pass to Rubisky, and they feed it inside to Schmitter, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, it was Cabrera trying to match up against Kayla Schmitter, sophomore against sophomore, and Schmitter wins the battle there. Really strong inside move.
Dolphins open their lead back up to 4. Cardinals feed it inside, nearly stolen away, but a nice job that time by Cabrera to maintain possession. Jackson looking to work against Foster. Her floater in the lane is up, no good. And Schmitter there to grab the rebound. The Dolphins with the ball and a 4-point lead.
Yeah, Schmitter playing really hard here in this third quarter.
Rubisky inside to Foster. Foster lobbing it back out to Rubisky. Now cross-court pass goes out over to Rogers. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Rogers over to DeMontreux. Bounce pass over to Foster. Her jumper from the free throw line is good.
Yeah, very calm and cool that time. Foster off the pass by DeMontreux. And the Dolphins, I believe, Mike, now their biggest lead of the game, 6 points.
Yeah, matches their biggest lead, and Foster 3 of 6 from the field for the Dolphins. Ball handed off over to Melson. Her pass inside is going to go out of bounds, and it will be Dolphin basketball, but first we're going to have a timeout on the floor. It's going to be a full timeout, so why don't we step aside and take a break? 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Dolphins 32, Cardinals 26. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 3 minutes and 42 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. The Dolphins with a 6-point lead that matches their biggest lead of the game. And Dave, you're starting to get the feeling that maybe the Dolphins are starting to click a little bit more offensively.
Well, you know, they're shooting 63% in this third quarter, so that's always a strong indication. Short sample size, only 8 shots, but the Dolphins are letting them fall, and they're working from the inside out, which I like.
Big possession here for the Cardinals as Melson's shot is up. No, Cabrera's shot is no good, but she's going to draw the foul.
Yeah, it's that baseline jumper that York really has lived on here in this game. And so Cabrera will go to the line. Sorry, Mike.
That's good. So that's Kayla Schmitter picking up the foul. For Kayla, that's going to be her second. The Dolphins now over the limit. Cabrera just a 47% free throw shooter, but she hits the first. Dolphin lead down to 5. One more upcoming here for Cabrera. Her second free throw is up and in, so she hits them both. Cardinals staying in the game, trailing by 4.
Yep, York only is a 53% shooting team from the line all season, but they like that.
Rubisky now feeds it out over to Rogers. Now it's DeMontreux at the three-point line. Rubisky over to DeMontreux. She has the open three-pointer. That one is off. And Jackson there for the rebound for the Cardinals. Dolphins now 0 of 13 from the three-point line here this afternoon. That ball's going to be stolen away by Rogers. She gets it ahead of the field to Foster. Foster driving down the lane. Her shot will be no good, but she'll draw the foul.
Yeah, so Foster will get herself back to the free throw line. Her first trip of this game, but she is 21 of 33 for the season, 64%.
So Foster's first free throw is up and in as the Dolphins are trying to work the ball inside a little bit more, Dave. And, you know, the way they've been shooting from the three-point line.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, they're kind of softening up the York defense, you know, making them work hard on the interior, and that allows then your perimeter shooters to get open for open looks from the perimeter. So I think that's what the Dolphins are trying to do, and they're having success.
Cardinals down 6 once again as that shot's going to be up no good. The rebound is going to be last touched by Schmitter, so a second chance opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals. Hotzik to inbound the basketball. She's looking for somewhere to go, and she's able to get the ball in and now get the ball back. Now Jackson from the free throw line extended. That shot's up no good, and a nice shot by Foster to come away with the rebound for the Dolphins. DiMaggio with the basketball. Now it comes over to Rubisky. Now Schmitter along the baseline. Beautiful feed inside to Foster, and she lays it up and in. Dolphins now with their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, you know, York, if you're York now, you have to really steady up. You got to get some good shots. You got to stay within distance. You do not want to put up a double-digit deficit going into the final 10.
Big possession here for the Cardinals. As that Sierra feeding the ball inside to Melson. Now they work the ball back to Cabrera. She drives along the baseline, but I believe she might have stepped out of bounds as we have an opportunity to see that nice feed into Foster, who lays it up and in, and she's to double digits, Dave, with 10.
Yeah, it's a good job, you know, of the Dolphins moving the ball around, trying to take advantage of the York defense, defensive zone, you know, breaking that zone with quick passes to get open looks.
So the Dolphins already with their biggest lead of the game, an opportunity to build on that 8-point lead. Rubisky out at the three-point line. Now Rogers feeds it over to Foster. Foster fighting her way inside. Good defense that time by the Cardinals, and DeSources comes away with the rebound.
Yeah, DeSources got a little bit of the ball on that one too, so nice block there.
Hotzik with the basketball. Cardinals trying to stay within striking distance. Down 8 as we're inside of a minute and 20 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. DeSources fighting her way inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul, and Schmidt is going to get called for the foul once again, and Dave, that's the second foul in a row. She was very unhappy with the call, and we're going to have a substitution now for CSI.
She's played a really great third quarter, and now she's going to get spelled for Tori Moylan. There's big minutes here for Moylan here as we close out the third quarter.
So Schmitter will go to the bench with her third personal. She has 7 points. DeSources will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2, and she misses the first. One more free throw upcoming. As DeSources trying to cut into this 8-point CSI Dolphin lead. Her second free throw is up and in, so she hits 1 of 2, and the Dolphins lead is now down to 7. DiMaggio with the basketball. Now it's Rubisky. Back out over to DiMaggio as now Rogers with the basketball as we're inside a minute remaining. Here in the quarter, another nice interior feed into Foster. She's starting to heat up, Dave. She has 12.
Yeah, you know, it's that interior presence and the strong inside passing game for the Dolphins that's really been the difference here in this quarter. Almost an exact replica of their first meeting. The Dolphins pulling away in the third.
Foster with 12 points, 8 in the third quarter. As here come the Dolphins with a 9-point lead and the basketball. Rogers driving down the lane. That shot is short, blocked away, but Rubisky comes away with the basketball, and now Jackson's going to draw the foul. So that foul will be on Diamond Jackson. That's going to be her third. And the Dolphins to inbound the basketballs. That's just the fourth team foul on the Cardinals. So Wabisky to inbound, 20 on the shot clock, 30.4 seconds remaining on the game clock. DeMontro out over to Wabisky. Now it's Rogers with the basketball. Wabisky, Dolphins working the ball around the three-point line. Now they work it out to Rogers. Her open three-pointer is good. First three-pointer of the game for the Dolphins, and they have their biggest lead. It's 12.
Yeah, biggest lead, and definitely if you're in York, you're getting into that range where you're losing control of the game.
And that shot will be no good, and that's going to do it. 3 quarters in the books as we have an opportunity to see that Jaden Rogers three, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. 3 quarters in the books with the score. Dolphins 41, Cardinals 29. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves. Our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We're back underway here in the fourth quarter as we're going to have a quick whistle and a foul. I believe will be called on the Cardinals, or it might be a shot clock issue.
Yeah, shot clock didn't start, so now they got it in order.
So the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. Dave, coming off their best quarter of the afternoon, they outscore York 19-8.
Yeah, and in that first game, it was very similar, the scoring discrepancy, and that's where the Dolphins really were able to put distance and then put a cap on it.
So the Cardinals will need to get some offense going, Dave. They've struggled all game long offensively, just 29 points through the first 3 quarters, and they find themselves down 12.
Yeah, about a point a minute, and they're going to have to find a way to score a bunch more here in the fourth.
Hot six jumper goes in and out, and Rogers comes away with the rebound for the Dolphins. For Jada, her sixth rebound of the afternoon. Wabisky with the basketball, using the Moylan pick. She drives inside and gets called for the offensive foul. That was a tough call, David. Both players were kind of going for the spot, and head coach Nicole Salcone doesn't like the call, but that'll be an offensive foul on the Dolphins.
No, yeah, I know. I didn't like the call either, Mike. I thought Brianna was trying to get to a point on the floor, and she was impeded in her process to get there. Salcone still arguing her case.
So Brianna picks up her second, team's first. The Cardinals with the basketball 1 minute into this fourth quarter. Jackson with the basketball. A long three-pointer that time is taken by Sierra. That's no good. Here come the Dolphins. 3-on-1. Rogers feeding it over to Wabisky. She misses the shot but draws the foul. As that time, Christina Sierra picks up her second personal, and that will send Brianna Wabisky to the free throw line here to shoot 2. And, Dave, the way the Cardinals have been struggling to score all afternoon long, they really can't afford to fall behind much more.
No, definitely not. The Dolphins are starting to get to that point in the game where they can start to feel really confident about what they're doing and about the fact that York just simply is not going to be able to put up the kind of points to overcome a deficit like this.
So Rubisky steps up to the free throw line. She hits the pair. She came in shooting 61% from the line. She now has 4, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 14 points. Hotzik working the ball out over to Sierra. Now Jacomi feeding it inside to Jackson. Jackson trying to spin inside, but instead she'll lose the ball to Rogers, and here come the Dolphins looking to run once again. Rubisky with the basketball. She'll pull the ball out, and the Dolphins will set up offensively with 18 remaining on the shot clock. Rogers, nice play that time by the Dolphins as Rogers passing the ball over, and that time Forster has the ball stolen away by the Cardinals. Cardinals looking for their first points here in this fourth quarter, and they find themselves down 14. As that time, a nice feed into Jackson, and she lays it up and in as the Cardinals try to battle their way back, and they get their first basket here in the fourth quarter. DeMontre feeding the ball out over to Rogers. Rogers stutter step, now kicking the ball out to the three-point line to DeMontre. Now it's Rubisky. Rubisky feeding the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul. As that time, Rubisky was trying to work the ball across to Forster. So it'll be a foul, a non-shooting foul, as that will be on Diamond Jackson. For Diamond, that will be her fourth, and that will award the Dolphins the basketball with 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Dolphins on a 9-3 run. They've opened their lead up to 12, and that pass is going to be stolen away. The 17th turnover of the afternoon for the Dolphins. Jacomi with the basketball. Cardinals looking to stay in contact here. Hotzik now working the ball back out over to Jacoby, guarded by Rogers. And that's going to be a moving screen that time called on DeSauces, as that time DeSauces really stepped right in front of the Dolphin defender and gets called for the offensive foul, and that's going to be her fourth, Dave.
Yeah, so now she's in trouble. She's their most prolific scorer, and obviously York's only double-digit scorer on the season.
And it looks like she's going to come over to the bench with 4 personals, so let's see if the Dolphins can take advantage and see how long Coach Bittis will leave her on the bench with the Cardinals down 12. Rubisky, and now it's going to be an offensive foul called on the Dolphins, as the teams will exchange offensive foul turnovers, as that foul will be on Deidre Forster, and that will be her second team foul, as Forster will check out of the game, and Kayla Schmitter will check back in for the Dolphins. Schmitter with 3 fouls for the Dolphins, along with Rubisky out on the floor for the Dolphins with 3 personals.
And Foster very quietly had a really strong game, 17 minutes, but 10 points in those minutes.
Yeah,
very efficient.
Yeah, she plays very efficiently. You know, she doesn't always get a lot of minutes, but she seems to fill up the scoring sheet pretty well for her limited minutes. McEwen in the corner to Rubisky. Rubisky driving down the lane, can't hit the layup, but grabs her own rebound, feeds it back to Schmitter. Her shot will be short and out of bounds, and it will be Cardinal basketball. Diana Tadero checking back into the game for the Dolphins. And Dave, with the way the Cardinals have been struggling offensively, 6:04 remaining. Be interesting to see when the Dolphins think about running the shot clock down on their offensive possession.
Yeah, and, you know, for the Dolphins, they can at least, you know, be comfortable knowing that, you know, York's got to put up a huge run here. And in a game like this, it's a lot of points for them to have to make up.
As that shot timed by Cabrera is no good, the Dolphins come down on the fast break, feed it ahead to McEwen, and she lays it up and in. And, you know, Megan's been quiet offensively, Dave, as that's just her second basket. She's just 2 of 10. But a big basket there for the Dolphins as they have a 14-point lead. And It looks like it's going to be a full timeout, so why don't we step aside and take a break? 5 minutes, 36 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dolphins lead 45-31. You're watching women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 5:36 remaining here in the fourth quarter. As you see Athletic Director Charles Gomes on your screen, Dave, this game was tied up at 26 apiece. Dolphins Sids have gone on a 19-5 run.
Yeah, it's the man who makes it all happen. You know, Mike, tonight is Pride Night at CSI, where all of our fans got free T-shirts, free food to our students, thanks to student government. So a nice vibe here at the college.
Yeah, you know, another awesome night here at the Tank. I saw President Fritz in the crowd before. Another night of athletic participation in events throughout the campus. Pride Night, as Dave mentioned, and still time to get here to the Tank and pick yourself up a Pride T-shirt. And a big game coming up, Dave, between the men's basketball team as the men look to bounce back against an earlier loss this season against York College.
Yeah, that was a tough game for the CSI men during the regular season. They were down pretty much wire to wire in that game and never could pick themselves off the mat and find themselves on the wrong end of a 15-point game. And the Dolphins feel like they're an improved team from that point, Mike, and they also like to play in this building. And maybe the final game ever against York College. Dolphins are going to want to put their best foot forward on the men's side. We should be in for a good one.
Yeah, and, we'll talk about it more during the men's game, but what a history between these two teams and what a bunch of great games, Dave, we saw in broadcast both here and at York College.
Yeah, and not to mention the championships through the years that York and CSI played. Of course, a lot of people remember that half-court buzzer beater that York won against the Dolphins. None of us want to remember it, but we do. Teron Simpson, name ingrained in my brain for a while. But they've been a part of so many good games. The Dolphins' 1999 championship team was against York, team led by John Calley, a CSI Hall of Famer. And, I know I'm dating myself with these memories, Mike, but a lot of classic games between those two teams. Maybe not as many on the women's side, although York had, like you said, those 3 or 4 years. Tamara Taylor, one of their best players ever, who ended up transferring to CSI, ended up being a very good player for the Dolphins under Marguerite Moran. So a lot of memories between these two sides.
Yeah, so that Schmidt with the basketball. The Cardinals have scored the last 4 points and have now cut the Dolphin lead down to 10 as McEwen takes that one to the basket. She'll miss the shot, but she'll draw the foul, and she'll have an opportunity to go to the free throw line and extend this 10-point Dolphin lead.
Yeah, and if you're York College, you're not out of this game. I mean, a couple of big baskets, but what you have to do is you have to keep the Dolphins off the scoreboard, and that always helps, although Megan is a tremendous free throw shooter.
Yeah, she came in shooting 84% from the free throw line as she splits the pair, and the Dolphin lead goes up to 11 inside of 4 minutes remaining here in this fourth quarter. Hotzik with the basketball. A little bit of a time issue starting to creep in for the Cardinals as the Sources' shot is up no good. Schmidt goes up high for the rebound, and the Dolphins looking to run. Rogers taking it coast to coast. Her shot is no good. Rubisky's putback is no good, but the Dolphins able to come away with the rebound. And now we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like we're going to have an offensive foul called on the Dolphins, as that's going to get called on Rubisky, and that's going to be her fifth, so she's going to foul out of the game.
Yeah, so for Brianna, her line 0 for 4 from the floor. She had 4 points, all on the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, very active, very good defensive player. And Dolphins, who already came into the game down Christina Arvello due to injury, are now down Rubisky.
So the Cardinals with the basketball trying to cut into this 11-point Dolphin lead. That shot is up no good. The rebound grab by Cabrera. She can't put it back in, but the Dolphins unable to secure the rebound, so the Cardinals will get a third opportunity here on this possession.
And Mike, after a 40% shooting performance in the first half, York now 4 of 22 in the second half.
Yeah, they've really been struggling from the field. Just 35 points in the game here this afternoon as that shot is up no good. And Moylan there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. As the Dolphins now with an 11-point lead, Dave, and an opportunity to run a little time off of the game clock.
Yeah, and in a game where York might need the 3 after this shot.
Moylan puts that shot up with 15 on the shot clock, but McEwen able to grab the rebound and get her third basket of the afternoon. She has 7, and the Dolphin lead is back to 13.
And I was going to say, on a day where the York might need some big three-pointers here down the stretch, they're 0 for 4 from downtown. They are not a three-point shooting team.
The Sources with a tough shot. That's no good. Tadero there with the rebound. 2 Dolphins ahead of the field as McEwen drives it inside, misses the shot. Rogers gets the putback. She'll lay it up. No good, but she'll draw the foul, and that might close the door, Dave, on the Cardinals, the way they've just struggled so much offensively here this afternoon, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. This was not the performance that they wanted coming into this game. They shot, or at least right now, they're shooting just 28%, and that was after a really good shooting first quarter where they went 5 of 10. They've been downhill ever since, and Jada Rogers, as I don't know if there was a foul here. Oh no, it's just a conference going on that they'll need to break up. But Rogers, people will look at her numbers from the floor, Mike, just 4 of 11, but she's really been a workhorse in this game. She's 1 rebound short of a double-double. She's added 4 steals, which leads CSI, and she leads the team in minutes played with 36. Just a short spell on the bench all game for Jada.
One more free throw upcoming for the freshman. She hits the pair, and the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game. It's 15.
And if a player like Jada Rogers improves the way she's improved from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, and if we expect that development over the next 3 years, Mike, she's going to be a very, very good player.
Tadero comes away with the basket. Her pass is going to be knocked and stolen away. And the Cardinals with the basketball try to cut into this 15-point Dolphin lead. Floater up by Hotzik is up no good, but she's able to grab her own offensive rebound and feed it up over to Melson. Her pass is going to be stolen away by Tadero. She'll be fouled in the backcourt, and now Diana will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2.
And that'll be her 3rd steal of the game. If she gets credit for it. She might not get credit for it as the pass was errant, but she too, very good defensive player. And again, people will look at the box score and say, Tadaro just 6 points, not a really big afternoon, but 13 rebounds, 3 steals. And it's just her presence. It's just her physicalness on the inside. She keeps others, she makes others around her better because she just demands a lot of attention.
So the Dolphins now a minute and 50 seconds away from winning their 8th consecutive game. And, Dave, a team that started 0-6 is going to up their record now to 13-8.
Yeah, and what a turnaround, huh? I mean, we definitely saw the Dolphins struggling in the early stages of the season. They played some really good competition, played a majority of those big games on the road, had to play in some very unfamiliar gyms against good teams, and they struggled. They lost to Post at Southern New Hampshire, at New Haven, at NYIT, who they'll face twice a year from now on, and then, of course, at Wagner College. And that's a pretty tall order for any Division II team, let alone a provisional Division III going into Division II. So Dolphins weathered it, and they're better for it.
So Schmitter's pass inside is going to be stolen away, and here come the Cardinals with the basketball. Melson gets it over to Hotzik. Hotzik's tough floating shot in the lane is no good. Cardinals there to grab the rebound with 17 seconds left to shoot. Long three-pointer that time by Melson is up no good. It'll be out of bounds, so it'll be Dolphin basketball with 68 seconds remaining in this one.
Gotta keep your thumb there.
It wasn't pretty, but the Dolphins were able to weather the storm, and the game was tied up at 26, Dave, but since then the Dolphins have outscored the Cardinals 26-9.
Yeah, you know what? It was a big second half for the Dolphins. It'll never be the way they wanted to win this game, but
Tadero's nice floater or underhand shot in the lane will be no good, but Diana will go back to the free throw line here for the second time this afternoon.
yeah, it's always better, Mike, to win a sloppy game than to lose one. As much as sometimes it can be frustrating, it's okay to lose ugly, and the Dolphins, I wouldn't even say this was an ugly performance. It was just, a really a tough drag. It was really, they took a lot of time kind of finding their way, developing a game plan, making it work on the court. But when they needed to, they made the run in the third quarter that they needed, and that's really been the difference. A 1-point lead at the half has blossomed into 17.
As we're going to have a whistle, and Kayla Schmitter is going to get called for the loose ball foul, and that will be the 15th foul for the Dolphins. So that will result in free throws, Dave, with 44.6 seconds remaining. And I have a little bit of an opportunity taking a look ahead at the schedule for the Dolphins, Dave. On the road against Lehman, on the road against Brooklyn, and then finishing off with two at home, Hunter and Baruch.
Yeah, and you'd like to think that the Lehman game will be an easy win for the Dolphins. They, Lehman is just so, understaffed. When they came here, they only had 6 women on their bench, and they're definitely a developing team in the midst of a lot of transition. But the next 3, Brooklyn on the road especially, where they've handled the Dolphins pretty well over the years, and Hunter, the defending CUNY champs. And then you got Baruch, who's always been kind of, like York this season, Mike, just kind of a thorn in the side. And they've been down recently, but they'll pose a challenge here in this gym.
So 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock. The Dolphins lead 52-36, and it's McEwen with the basketball. McEwen's bounce pass for Schmitter, and that's going to be taken away, and the Dolphins will turn the ball over. 22 turnovers for the Dolphins. Very uncharacteristic turnover number there.
Yeah, especially in this recent run. It's very uncharacteristic. And
sorry, Dave, that shot's up no good as we're inside of 10 seconds remaining, and we're going to have a whistle on the play and a jump ball. Possession arrow will remain with York, but with 5.2 seconds remaining, Dave, the only thing left to be determined is the final score.
Yeah, and what could be the final meeting ever between these two teams, Mike, the Dolphins will run their overall record to York up to 69-8 overall. And remember, Mike, it was a forfeit loss a couple of years ago at the hands of York that broke a 15-game winning streak for the Dolphins over York. If we don't count that game, the winning streak, 20 games now at the end of this one. And, Mike, even though they were tremendous favorites on paper, Dolphins held Medgar Evers to 29 points on Saturday. They're about to hold York to 36 here tonight. I mean, 46 the game before against CCNY. Defensively, Mike, as much as the Dolphins struggled offensively, defensively, they've been on point.
Yeah, they did a good job, Dave. They forced 26 turnovers. The Cardinals haven't hit a three-point shot and shooting just over 25% from the field.
Yeah, and York shot 17% in the third quarter and 12% here in the fourth.
So the clock winds down. The outside three-point shot that time.
First of the game for York.
Yeah, is good as Christina Sierra will hit the three-pointer, and that's going to do it as the College of Staten Island goes on to defeat York College by the final score of 52-39. And You know, Dave, like you said, possibly the last meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, and you know what? Dolphins did what they had to do to get it done. 52-39. It was one of their lowest scoring outputs, Mike, of the season. In fact, it's their second lowest scoring output of the season, as we're going to be joined by Jada Rogers, who comes over. Jada had a big day, 1 rebound shy of a double-double, but for the Dolphins, it was win number 6 in a row, and Jada joins us now.
Jada, congratulations. Another big win. The team has now won 8 in a row. What have you guys done to turn it around in the second half of the season?
We've been playing our game. We now know these teams. We've been playing them a second time, and this might be the last time we play them, so we had to do what we have to do and put on a show for them.
You know, Jada, the team struggled a little bit offensively here tonight. The game was actually tied at 26 at one point, but you guys really turned it around in the second half, outscoring York College 26-9 to close out the game. What was the difference between those two halves?
Our coach, she got on us. She yelled at us. We knew we had to wake up at that point because it was too close of a game, and we had to lock down our defense and stick to our game plan.
And Jada, you logged 38 minutes in this game. Hardly ever saw the bench. As your freshman season is developing, how much more comfortable are you getting with the rhythms and the stretches of this team?
I'm getting more comfortable. I'm finding my game now. I know what I have to do to work on and just keep going forward.
And you're on an incredible winning streak now. How important is it for you guys to end this season on a winning streak?
Very important. It boosts up our confidence for the end of the season.
Jada, thanks a lot for joining us, and good luck down the stretch. 4 games remaining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jada.
That's Jada Rogers. Nice enough, Dave, to come over and join us. Another big win for this ladies basketball team. They've now won 8 in a row. 4 games left for the Dolphins here this year.
Yeah, and the first year of provisional standing, Mike. And no matter what happens the rest of the way, Mike, the Dolphins are going to finish with a winning record in 2019, 2020. That's saying something considered how they loaded the schedule earlier in the season with Division II and even a Division I team in there in Wagner College. This team's going places. I know that the CUNY Conference is a conference that they've had a lot of success against, and they're repeating that performance now. And you know what? 4 big games, 3 of them against really good opponents in the past that have given the Dolphins problems. And we'll see what the Dolphins have left.
So that's going to wrap things up here from the tank. What we're going to do is we're going to step aside. We're going to take a break for a few minutes. Then you can go over to the men's link to catch the men's basketball game. We're looking forward to a big game as the CSI men's basketball team will take on York College. So that's going to wrap things up for game number 1. For Dave Pizzuto, this is Mike Babuski saying thanks for watching. Once again, the final score, the College of Staten Island 52, York College 39. You've been watching women's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We'll see everybody in just a few minutes.